Hello team, welcome to our next writing lesson. So we are continuing to talk about informative writing, so writing that is all true and all based on facts and it tells people what's happening, so writing that tells people what's happening. But today we're going to create a fact file. So our recipe for success today is to be able to write sentences using capital letters and full stops, to write an exciting title, to write an introduction, which we've been working on already. So we've been working on introductions already, so we should be very good at that. I can write at least 3 facts, so I need you to have at least 3 facts. So if I'm saying at least 3 facts, then that means you can put loads of facts in if you want, but remember that you need at least 3. You can write a wow fact, so a fact that makes you go, wow. You can choose a photo to support what you're writing about, and you can write a summary. So, what is a fact file? Now, some of you all know what fact files are already. You've maybe used them before, you've maybe made them before, you've maybe needed them for certain things as well. So, a fact file is a collection of the most important information about a certain topic. So, one of our topics that we've been looking at, so what we looked at yesterday, was firefighters, okay? Because we are talking about people who help us in the community, aren't we, just now? And we had a look at firefighters and how they help us. So we are going to write a fact file today all about firefighters. So a fact file has lots and lots of facts. So in your assignment today, you will have this template. Now it's up to you. You can either create your own template, so your own fact file that has all this stuff on it, or you can go click on it and it'll bring you up onto Word and you can type in all of your things today. So if you've not got a printer, don't worry about it, because you can type all your information into the document and then you can send it on to me. So what would be really good now is if you pause the video and get your fact file out ready. So maybe have it open on another tab. So if you can get it to ping up now, that means that you can fill it in with me as we go through this video. So you need to go and get your fact file now. So whether that's you writing, you've printed it off and you're going to write onto it, you're going to create your own version of a fact file, or you're going to use this one. Make sure you've got it ready now so you can do it as we go along through. So you might need to pause the video now to go and get sorted. So now that you've got your fact file ready and you're ready to rock and roll, let's take a closer look at what we need to create a fact file. Let's start with a title. Now remember when we did newspaper articles, we needed to make sure that it had a title, a very exciting title that made people want to pick it up and think, I want to read all about this thing. So if we're going to write a fact file all about firefighters, what do you think the title should be so people know what they're going to read about? So now if you think you know what to write, go over to your fact file now and write a title. If not, I'll just show you what I decided to write. So the title, I went for Firefighter Facts. So at the very, very top of your page, you write your own title, or you can use this one, Firefighter Facts. What's next? Now that you've written your title, what do we need to do next? So have a closer look at this slide here. Have a closer look at the screen. And what do you think we're gonna write about next? Yep, the introduction. So we're going to have a look at writing an introduction next. Now we've been doing a little bit of introductions and we have been describing what we're going to write about. And then we're going to do the exact same thing today, but pop it in the box up here. So when we write an introduction, we need to tell the reader what we are going to talk about in our fact file. We need to describe what we're going to talk about. So remember those adjectives and remember those capital letters and full stops. Okay, some of us are very good at putting full stops in, but we forget our capital letters. Or we remember to pop capital letters in and we forget our full stops. So let's see if we can remember them both today. Here is an example of my introduction. Now, if you don't want to see my introduction yet and you want to have a go at doing it yourself, then go back a bit on the video and pause it and have a go. Or you can listen to my introduction and that'll give you a little bit of an idea of what you could write in yours. So let's read it together. So you're going to read it along with me, please. Ready? Firefighter facts. This fact file is all about firefighters. Now I've got a full stop in there. So what does firefighters need to start with? A capital letter. So firefighters are very brave because they help us when there are big, ferocious fires. Full stop. They wear protective clothing so they can help put out fires, and they drive fire engines. We have firefighters in our community to help us. Read more to find out some fascinating facts all about firefighters. So you will see in my introduction there, I have told everybody what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so that means if they picked up this fact file, they would think, right, I need information on firefighters. This is exactly what I need because I've read the title and it tells me what's happening in the fact file. I've also read a little bit of an introduction which just starts to introduce us, and I think, right, to find out more facts, I need to read on. I've also used full stops and capital letters, and I've also made sure that I've got some adjectives in there, like big, ferocious fires. I've not just said that firefighters put out fires. I've said firefighters are very brave because they help us when there are big, ferocious fires. So it's your turn now. So go and write your introduction. So if you want, you can have a look at mine again, or you can just go for it yourself. So this is your time now to go to your fact file, whether it's written down, whether you're writing it down, whether you're going to copy it out onto the computer, or whether you're going to do it a different way. This is your time to write your introduction, to tell the reader what your fabulous fact file all about firefighters is all about. Now, if you've finished doing your introduction, let's go on. So, what's next? We have our title, Firefighter Facts. We have our introduction. So let's have a look at where the arrows are pointing now. They are pointing to the important facts. So you'll see on your sheet that you've got a space now for important facts that you have learned about the topic. And the topic we're doing is firefighters. So now have a look at your poster that you made yesterday. On there you'll have lots of facts, or have a remember back to the quiz you did where you answered questions to have lots of facts, or maybe you need to do a little bit of research yourself if you haven't managed to do that yet. Or maybe you already know some things about firefighters. Now this is the space here where you need to write down all of the important facts that you know. Okay, here are some questions to help you. So this should help you think of all the different things that you've learned about firefighters. So, what sort of facts do you know about firefighters? And here are some ideas to help you. How do they help our community? So how do you think firefighters help our community? If you think you know, that could be your first fact. What do they wear? And that's your second fact. Who do they help? Why do they choose to help us? What do they use to help us? And when do they help us? So if you've managed to answer each of those questions, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. If you've managed to answer all 6 of them, that means you've got 6 important facts. Now remember, to be successful today, we only needed 3 important facts. So if you've managed to get 6 or even more than 6 in there, then well done. So this is your time now. So it's your turn now to go and write your facts on. So off you go. So what's next? Next we have our Wow Facts box. Now this box here is for something super interesting and amazing that you would like the reader to know about firefighters. So maybe when you did a little bit of extra research, you found out something you thought, wow, I didn't know that. Or maybe you know something about firefighters that you don't think anyone else will know. Or maybe it's just another fact. Pop it in here now. Okay, so we are nearly there now. Now in the next box, okay, I've put it up here so you can see it. We need to put in photos to support what you are talking about. So for example, if we are doing all about firefighters and one of your firefighting facts was about the clothes that they wear, you might need to put a picture in here of what they would wear. Or maybe you wanted to talk about the mask the firefighters use. Now, if you're popping a picture in there, if you're doing it by hand, you could draw it. But if you're doing it on the computer, you could go and Google one and copy one into that box. And then underneath, write a little sentence telling me what the picture's all about. So here I have popped a mask that the firefighters use, okay? Then underneath I've written, so the reader knows what it is, this is a mask firefighters use to protect them from the smoke they could breathe in. And finally, you need to write a summary. Now a summary just sums up everything that you've talked about. So at the very end, you just need to say that this is the fact file all about firefighters. And then you need to check your recipe for success. So, do you have a title? Do you have an introduction? Do you have some facts? At least 3. Do you have an extra wow fact? Do you have a photo to support your writing? Do you have capital letters and full stops? Make sure you've got describing words and your conclusion, so your summary. Have you told everybody that that's you finished talking and that's everything that you need to know about firefighters? So, I hope that you have a lovely fact file ready. Now, to make your fact file even more interesting, you could add some colour, you could make it however you like. Okay, it's up to you. It's your fact file. As long as it's got facts on there, it doesn't really matter. So, if you think you need to go and add more into it, just go back through the video again. It's absolutely fine. Just rewind and go back through it again. It's up to you. Check off all these points and make sure you've got everything. And then I'm looking forward to seeing your lovely fact files.